These rock stars were lost in a world of sin, but got out of their pit when they renewed their faith in Jesus Christ. Once they found him, their focuses in their personal and professional lives began to shift, and their faith grew stronger as a result of it. Here are 10 rockers who turned their life around for Jesus and were transformed in the process. Number 1. Bob Dylan. No major rock star has ever undergone as radical a religious transformation as Bob Dylan. The man who once wrote "Don't follow leaders, watch your parking meters" launched a tour in 1979 behind his gospel LP Slow Train Coming, in which he didn't play any of his old songs. Between tunes he preached fire and brimstone. He preached to the crowd one night in 1979. "I told you the answer was blow wind in the wind, and it was. And I'm saying to you now, Jesus is coming back, and he is. There is no other way to salvation. Jesus is coming back to set up his kingdom in Jerusalem for 1,000 years," he said. Number 2. U2 Band. U2 have consistently put their Christian faith and biblical themes at the center of their music over the past 3 decades, but have never sold themselves as a Christian band. This has worked out pretty well for them, given that they are one of the most popular rock acts of all time. Most U2 songs have Christian themes. Number 3. Brian Head Welch of Korn. When Korn guitarist Brian Head Welch found Jesus in 2005, he realized that continuing to play in the band just wasn't an option. The revelation followed years of addiction to Xanax, alcohol, methamphetamines and sleeping pills. "I really wanted God to take away my addiction to drugs," Welch has said. "I was like, Jesus, if you're real, take away my addiction. I felt him come into my life, and that's when everything changed." Number 4. Nicko McBrain of Iron Maiden. McBrain gave his life to Christ in 1999 in an emotional experience after going to church with his wife, Rebecca. As McBrain told Willow Creek Association News, he prayed to receive Christ and began to read the Bible. "I had this love affair with Jesus going on in my heart," he said. McBrain still tours with the band, playing the songs that made the band popular. He's also part of the worship music team at his church in Florida. He believes his seemingly incongruous lifestyle is part of the Lord's plan. McBrain has given his testimony in front of heavy metal fans and seen them commit their life to Jesus, and he also frequently talks with fellow Iron Maiden members about his beliefs. Number 5. Carrie Livgren of Kansas. Penning such hits as "Carry On Wayward Son" and "Dust in the Wind," Carrie propelled the band to worldwide success and critical acclaim, with numerous gold and multi-platinum albums and over 14 million recordings sold to date. In 1980, after becoming an evangelical Christian, Carrie Livgren released his first solo work, Seeds of Change, featuring vocalists Ronnie James Dio and David Pack of Ambrosia, Jethro Tull's drummer Barrymore Barlow, and guest spots by friends from Kansas. Also accompanying the album was Carrie's autobiographical book of the same name. Together, they expressed a passage and resolution of Carrie's years-long spiritual journey, often the subject of his songs with Kansas. Following his departure from Kansas in 1983, Carrie recorded his second self-produced album for CBS, Timeline, in the same year. With the musicians involved in that project, he formed the band, AD. Between 1983 and 1986, the band released 2 albums and toured extensively. Number 6. Dave Mustaine of Metallica and Megadeth. By the early 2000s, Mustaine was sick of touring, tired of his fellow bandmates, and generally down on his life. As Mustaine later told an interviewer, "Looking up at the cross, I said 6 simple words: what have I got to lose? Afterwards, my whole life has changed. It's been hard, but I wouldn't change it for anything. Rather than go my whole life believing that there is a God and find out there isn't, than live my whole life thinking there isn't a God, and then find out, when I die, that there is." Number 7. Ringo Starr of the Beatles. Ringo was reported to have said, during an interview at the Grammy Museum in Los Angeles, that he had found God after taking a long and winding road to this change in his life. Reports say that the musician, who has since become teetotal and quit his 60-a-day cigarette habit, says that religion now plays an important role in his life. Number 8. Dave Ellefson of Megadeth. David Warren Dave Ellefson is a bassist and founding member of the American thrash metal band Megadeth. He has also been referred to as Junior to differentiate him from Dave Mustaine. Ellefson currently resides in Scottsdale, Arizona. In addition to playing bass guitar in Megadeth, Ellefson also has various side projects which include Temple of Brutality, F5, and Killing Machine. In an interview with Blabbermouth he said, "I think Dave has been very open about his faith, and I've been open about my faith. Certainly me getting sober 20 years is what really led me back into Christian faith, but I always had it as a kid, quite honestly. I was born and raised Christian, and my family went to church on Sunday." Number 9. Lou Gramm of Foreigner. Lou Gramm is an American rock vocalist and songwriter, best known for being the original lead singer for the British-American rock band Foreigner. Louis Andrew Grammatico was born in Rochester, New York, the son of Nicky, a singer, and Benny Grammatico, a band leader and trumpeter. In an interview he was asked about his born-again experience. He said, "That happened just literally before Addiction Treatment Center Hazelden. We had played a sold-out concert at Madison Square Garden, and there was the record company party afterwards that lasted until 4 or 5 in the morning. Everybody was in that condition and I ended up back in my hotel room. Of course I wasn't able to sleep. I just started doing a little self-assessment and thinking about what I had become, and was very upset about it, and worried about my children seeing me like this. I finally fell to my knees and asked God to take this plague away from me." He continues, "I'm a devout born-again Christian. God plays a role in everything I do. I know He gave me life and saved my life. I serve Him." Number 10. Mark Farner of Grand Funk Railroad. Grand Funk Railroad were one of the most successful rock bands of the 1970s, but when they stopped selling albums and tickets in the early 1980s, frontman Mark Farner turned to Jesus and turned his life around. He angered some fans by re-recording Grand Funk's classic, Some Kind of Wonderful, with new spiritual lyrics in 1991, but they forgave him later in the decade when he reunited with the rest of Grand Funk for a triumphant tour. Today, the group tours without him, but he plays regularly as a solo act, performing a mix of Grand Funk classics and Christian rock tunes. If you enjoy this video, please like, subscribe and press bell icon for more updates.